The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 483 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
We're going to celebrate the life of James Earl Jones.
And he had to explain and express everything through that mask to the audience. And that's exactly what he did.
But more of a Boston accent.
You can tear this ship apart.
See? You can't unhear it now,
Now I
can
can't
you?
unhear it. Thanks.
You know what? I'm not going to blame James Earl Jones for this. I'm going to blame Darth Vader.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
His voice will be with us always.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland!
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets love.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! We are dedicating this episode to the man behind the booming voice of Darth Vader, Mufasa, and so many iconic film roles. But until then, we want to welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone, please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah. Sarah all along.
Well, that'll be next week, I think.
Yes. I couldn't think of anything else. That just came to me.
That's okay. Well, we got Agatha on the brain.
Yes.
Because a lot's happening this week with that. But before we dive into that, we really want to pay a big tribute to James Earl Jones. So Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So it's time for your weekly Wookiee hug and your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. Now, right now, we are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel. Hello to all the new subscribers over the past month. Last week, we are at over 9,100 subscribers,
We had
right?
9,100, and I asked for 5 more subscribers.
Yes.
You said, hey, maybe 7. Guess what? They met us in the middle.
Oh, 9106. How funny.
9106.
That's hilarious. Okay. Well, awesome. So next week, let's get to 9110?
9110.
9111.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Yes. Our
9111.
subscribers go to 11.
Yeah. I love it. So grab someone's phone, grab your kid's phone, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as an update, last week we said that we were about 7,000 away from 1 million podcast downloads.
Yeah.
We're now at 6,500.
Away.
6,500 away.
Okay, wow.
From 1 million podcast downloads.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's just podcast. That does not include YouTube views, which we have over 5 million YouTube views on our channel. I checked that the other day. I was like, what? When did that happen? Anyway, that was pretty cool. All right, so in this episode, we will celebrate the life of James Earl Jones, who unfortunately did pass away last week. And we'll play some obscure sound bites, we'll share some fun facts, and read your favorite James Earl Jones quotes.
Looking forward to paying tribute to one of my childhood icons.
Yes.
All right, now we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world or on a Disney cruise. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you, and best of all, This service is free of charge.
Also, I did hear that the Halloween on the High Seas cruises, or the Marvel on the Marvel Day at Sea cruises, will include Agatha in them. So booking next year, Agatha, you'll be able to meet her. So exciting.
Well, we're going to meet her this week.
Yeah, we are.
At the Oogie Boogie Bash.
So exciting.
One of the highlights is going to see Agatha.
Oh, yeah. And this year will be super awesome because we are going to be a coven of witches.
And we'll have already seen the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
We'll have lots to talk about with Agatha.
We are so excited. All right. We are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on September 16th, 2024. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, let's travel back 47 years ago on this date, September the 16th, 1977. The making of Star Wars, as told by C-3PO and R2-D2, airs on ABC TV. This hour-long special is hosted by C-3PO, as played by Anthony Daniels, and R2-D2. Now, this was a big deal, since this was the first time we saw any new Star Wars on TV. Now, this behind-the-scenes special features film footage intercut with R2 and 3PO as they go through different scenes of the making of Star Wars.
Okay, was Darth Vader in this special?
Oh, yes, he was, because they begin by watching the ceremony at Grauman's Chinese Theater as R2 and 3PO, along with Darth Vader, put their footprints in cement.
Nice.
And if you go back to listen to our episodes 236 and 237, we talk with Bryce Eller about the behind the scenes of that day where the droids and Vader put their footprints in cement.
Because he was in the Vader costume.
Yes, he was. Now, the special also features interviews with George Lucas, producer Gary Kurtz, and cast members like Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Alec Guinness, and Carrie Fisher, who reveals some behind-the-scenes sequel news.
Oh.
Yes. She says that she thinks that the sequel will take place on an ice planet and a tropical planet.
Okay.
Yeah, and best of all, they set Carrie Fisher in one of the most futuristic locations at that time, a video game arcade.
77, absolutely.
Yeah, so behind her you see like Missile Command and Pong.
When did video game arcades start?
I want to say I first started going in like 1981.
Right, I was like, isn't it early 80s?
Yes.
But I guess
so that's why I'm saying
77.
It was a very futuristic setting because I don't think at that time that I saw this, I don't think I knew it was a video game arcade.
Okay.
It just looked like a very high-tech NASA environment, right?
Oh, wow. That is interesting. Okay.
Yes, so this was a big deal in Star Wars history because once again, the first time we saw new footage of characters on TV.
Okay.
So it wasn't just the films anymore. Now we have new stuff.
Nice. All right, Skywalker's Academy is chiming in that also on this day, I'm assuming, Star Wars The Force Unleashed is released in 2008.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened on this date, but I really wanted to focus in on the making of Star Wars because it was a big pinpoint in expanding Star Wars.
Nice.
Because the next year we had the holiday special and just the snowball of Star Wars on TV from there.
All right, well, now before we celebrate the life of James Earl Jones, we also want to mention another icon who passed away last week, Peter Renaday. And if you aren't familiar with him, he voiced Exar Kun in Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, Dark Lords of the Sith, and that is an audio drama. And he was also Master Splinter in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated TV series, which I watched a little bit of.
I never knew that.
Yeah, Splinter, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's like the Yoda of the Ninja Turtles.
But then he's also voiced a lot of Disney things, and many people remember him. He voiced Abraham Lincoln in the Hall of Presidents. He was in the Country Bear Jamboree as Henry and Max. Those are bears. And that's right now at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, but that was in Disneyland. And so he was the voice of that. Also, he was in a number of films. And most importantly, he was the ghost host in the story and song of the Haunted Mansion, which is an LP.
Yes, I had that LP.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. And when I got it when I was a kid, I didn't know that it was a ride.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was just something you played at Halloween.
Right.
Narrated by this guy with a very creepy voice.
Very creepy, deep voice. Yeah. Now, the Haunted Mansion itself is Paul Frees.
The attraction.
The voice. The attraction,
Yeah.
yes. But, Peter Renaday is very well known for the ghost host in that LP, which people brought into their homes. So I think that was very important. And if you want to hear some great voice acting and a discussion with Peter Renaday, you can head to Mousetalgia, who has interviewed him and had him on to do a recreation of that album.
Oh, Jeff Bam put together a Haunted Mansion story with Peter Renaday. We've seen it live on stage. It's a whole stage production. Oh, and I asked Jeff later on, how exciting was that? He said, I didn't care if this was in front of people or not. I just wanted to be on stage with Peter Renaday in a Haunted Mansion sketch and a recreation. So that was a very personal thing for him, but everyone else got to really, really enjoy it because, once again, Haunted Mansion is one of the most favorite rides at Disneyland, and a lot of kids like me had that record as a kid, and now we're seeing it live on stage with the original ghost host.
Yes.
Now, we met him back in 2014, right after that reading he did.
Yeah, we were doing a Friends of the Magic weekend with Paul Berry. Yeah.
Yeah. And right afterwards, we went up to him and said, hey, we're big fans. And then, and would you mind recording a little something for our show, Skywalking Through Neverland? He's like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. So we got out our recorder, microphones, headphones, and lights, and we didn't video record it, but still, we were very prepared for this. And he was nice enough to record this soundbite for us.
This is Peter Renaday. I am the ghost host, and I'm skywalking through Neverland.
I remember him doing that laugh. It was so cool. It came from deep in his chest and throat and just kind of bubbled out.
And the fact that the ghost host said Skywalking Through Neverland, part of your childhood, now is meshing with something that you're doing now, a creative endeavor. So a creative endeavor meets a creative endeavor.
Well, certainly at that moment, that was only less than a year into our podcast journey. And so to have this legend on was very exciting.
So I think, if I'm mistaken, this was maybe the first time we'd ever gotten a celebrity to do something. And then we realized,
I think so.
Oh, wait a minute.
Ashley Eckstein, though.
Yeah, okay.
We had her on before.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, we thought, oh, okay, this opens up so many doors to so many different people that we can now speak to through the podcast.
Yes.
So thank you, Peter Renaday, for everything you've done for me, for Disney, for Sarah, for everyone else. You made a lot of people so very happy, especially Jeff Bam of Mousetalgia. So thank you once again. You are already missed.
Well, now let's celebrate the life of James Earl Jones.
Things you could never imagine saying, never imagine thinking in your own life. You can say these things, That's what it's still about. Whether it's movies or TV or what, that's what it's still about.
It's in New England, dear, in the state of Maine. Well, where are you?
Now, release your anger. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father.
A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
The world and the Star Wars fan community took a big loss on September 9th when James Earl Jones passed away at the age of 93. There have been lots of videos and articles, so you know all the roles he had in films outside of Star Wars, like his first role in Doctor Strangelove, and how he belongs to Club EGOT, winning an Emmys, a Grammy, an Oscar, and Tonys.
Now, speaking of the Tony Award, he won one of his Tonys for the play Fences. And I told this last week on Things We Want to Share, but it's worth repeating. because I've never met James Earl Jones before, and I've never seen any of his plays. I recall in 1981, he came to Boston with the play Othello.
Oh, wow.
And I begged my mom, begged and pleaded, because now I get to see someone from Star Wars live on stage. I had no idea what that even meant, but he was coming to Boston. I must see him. She was like, I don't think you're going to enjoy this. He's not playing Darth Vader. He's not. I asked my grandfather, please take me. So they all knew that I was a very squirmy kid.
Oh.
So sitting through a play.
Oh, God.
I couldn't sit through Mary Poppins without squirming for the whole time. But now a play, it's like, that's no place for a kid. But I did see James Earl Jones in the play Fences in New York City when a bunch of friends went to New York and they were checking something about going to get lunch. But then I noticed at this theater, it was intermission. And the lights were going off and on, and an announcer said, okay, we're letting people back in again. And they were playing Fences right there, and James Earl Jones was in there, so I just slipped in. I just slipped right in. No one checked for any kind of ticket or wristband or anything. I slipped in, and I sat there, and I watched him for about 10 minutes.
Oh.
And then I realized, I'm sure my friends are looking for me, because I didn't tell them where I was going. It was one of these, it's either now or never. If you say, hey, I'm going to go rush into Fences, they'd be like, no, Richie, you can't go in there. But it's like, okay, this is my moment. This is the opportunity I want. And I dove in, and I'm glad I did. Just to see this big giant of a man with this big voice, this big booming voice. It was one of my highlights of seeing anyone from Star Wars up on stage or anywhere. Because this was one of the first times I'd seen anyone outside a convention. So this was a big, big deal.
Yeah, how old were you at this point? You were like a teen?
I was 18.
18, okay.
I was 18 years old, yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Along with voicing Vader in the films, James Earl Jones also voiced him in the holiday special, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars the Interactive Video Board Game.
You shall be mine.
Star Wars Interactive Video Board Game.
And Star Tours The Adventures Continue.
Don't shoot.
Prepare to be boarded, Captain.
I'm afraid there's been a terrible mistake. I am secretly...
We know you have this rebel spy on board.
I've never seen that human before.
So, guess who he never called out as a rebel spy?
You.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to blame James Earl Jones for this. I'm going to blame Darth Vader.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie.
But you know what? At least now when I see Darth Vader up there, I'll think of James Earl Jones and not the fact that they're not picking me as rebel spy. Then there was a time when he supplied Darth Vader's voice for Celebration Zero, where he gave his list of 9 things he wanted to get off his chest.
Wow, and this was in 1987?
Yes, at Celebration Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a fandom highlight.
Oh my gosh.
And I have only one thing to say to you. Correction. I have only 9 things to say. I want to lodge an official objection to my being left out of the Disneyland Star Tours.
You see, that's what it feels like, Darth Vader, being left out of Star Tours. Now I'm feeling your pain.
What did he say? He said...
This is the audio is kind of...
Okay.
It's not that great, but he's listing the 9 things he just wants to say at Celebration.
Okay.
Well, no, it wasn't Celebration. It was the 10th anniversary of the Star Wars, of Star Wars. And he had a top 9 list, and this was number 3. He wanted to lodge a complaint that he was not included in Star Tours. This was the original version,
one.
yes.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah,
and if you want to hear, a better audio of this clip, we subtitled it on the YouTube
and put
version.
it on YouTube. Yeah.
So you can hear it a little better if you watch the subtitles.
Yeah. I guess Disney was listening because they did include him on Star Tours The Adventures Continue.
Yeah, because there's 2 openings to The Adventures Continue. One is Darth Vader, and then who's saying, stop, there's a rebel spy on board, or you get Kylo Ren, right? Yeah. So either one or the other. I think recently we've mostly got Vader.
Mm-hmm.
He comes down like on that
little hovering platform.
Yeah,
Now, Vader lodges a complaint, and he gets included. I've been lodging a complaint for 13 years. Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Sad.
Now, the last time that James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader was in 2019 for The Rise of Skywalker.
I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
Yeah, so first we hear Snoke.
Yes.
Then we hear Darth Vader, and I recall hearing that in the theater and going, boom! We have Darth Vader's voice in the Star Wars sequels.
That is so cool.
And I was ready for the big ride ahead.
Now, those of you Skywalkers, I love that you guys are sharing your stories, and we'll go over all those in a little bit when we get to the social media section. So,
okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge your comments, and we'll acknowledge them a little further down in our show.
Now, in the series Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader's voice was artificially created with Respeecher.
Okay.
Is
this the AI thing?
Yes,
okay.
yes. This uses archival recordings and an artificial intelligence algorithm to create new dialogue with the voices of performers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I guess they put in all this Darth Vader dialogue and had it spit out the new Obi-Wan Kenobi dialogue. How it works, I've got no idea.
So I imagine Respeecher is for speech, as to that
Deepfake.
Deepfake is
okay.
for
the actors' faces,
yeah,
and like
actors'
Luke
faces.
Skywalker in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that James Earl Jones had licensed out his voice to be used for future Darth Vader dialogue. But I guess at this point, Disney needs to get James Earl Jones' estate to sign off on anything new.
Okay.
If they say yes, then go, okay, here we go. But Darth Vader's dialogue in Obi-Wan Kenobi, I loved it. I thought this was, James Earl Jones is back as Darth Vader. But because in Rebels and other stuff, Vader sounded a little bit slower, a little bit older.
Yes,
but now he
right.
was back to the 1977 Darth Vader.
Right.
So I'm very happy that James Earl Jones said, yeah, here you go. Let's please fans for decades and generations to come.
Right.
Now, as a side note,
okay,
he did voice Darth Vader at another time.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this was in the film Benchwarmers from 2006, where Darth Vader was a gatekeeper.
I always wondered who lived here. I just thought it was Clay Aiken or something.
Who goes there?
Oh, that is so cool.
Hey, it's Gus, Clark, and Richie. We're here to see Mel.
You may enter.
Thanks, Darth. Thanks, Darth.
Yeah, alongside David Spade and Rob Schneider was John Heater.
Okay.
You know, Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh.
And you know what? I never knew this until now.
Yeah, so they're in a car and they're wanting to get in this gate, and Darth Vader, like, just a costume.
Yes.
Is it a person?
No, it's like a Darth Vader statue.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Darth
one you
Vader
see
statue.
at Home Depot, the new Halloween Christmas animatronic Darth Vader. But this one didn't move.
That's like the gate. That's like the gate. So they're like talking to that Darth Vader statue to get inside. And it has James Earl Jones' voice.
I never knew that.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing the research that you can do. What you find.
Now, although James Earl Jones is from New York, he spent a long time in Boston doing a lot of stage work. So you can almost hear his Boston accent coming through with a couple of his Darth Vader lines.
Real? Okay, yeah, Skywalkers, let us know.
Go ahead and play this.
Okay.
If this is a consular ship, where is the ambassador? Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive. You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away.
Do you hear it now?
I feel like you can tear this ship apart. Apart. That's where I heard it.
This is a consular ship. Where is the ambassador? And this is something I never really noticed until like a year or two ago.
Okay.
When we saw Star Wars at a revival screening. And I'm listening to Darth Vader going, wow. I think I just talked to my sister, who's got a very heavy Boston accent.
Yes.
And then hearing Darth Vader, and it just spoke to me. It just called right out that he's got not a New York accent,
right,
but more of a Boston accent.
You can tear this ship apart.
See, you can't unhear it now, can you?
Now I can't unhear it. Thanks. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. See, this is what we mean by we're going to celebrate the life of James Earl Jones. If he had it his way, he would want us to have fun with his career and remember him with laughter.
Absolutely. Now, do you know where he did not voice Darth Vader?
I was hoping you weren't going to bring this up. I was hoping you were not going to bring this up.
The Donnie and Marie show. Who was the voice, Richard?
Tony the Tiger, Thurl Ravencroft.
You intergalactic fool. You never get them back that way.
I suppose you have a better plan.
No plan at all. Just a little force. They're great.
You can totally hear that. It's great. Oh my God. That's awful.
Yeah, but you know what? A little tangent here. That's our friend Bryce Eller in that Darth Vader costume.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness.
So even as a kid, it's like, no.
That doesn't work. Wow.
Now, James Earl Jones, he does comedy very, very well. And his best comedy is when he does a deadpan delivery. As we've heard at Celebration Zero, Darth Vader and James Earl Jones, they love a list.
Top 10 list, right?
A top 10 or top 9 list.
Okay.
Now, he was on The Late Show with David Letterman several times reading Dave's top 10 list. Now, this one here is a favorite. This is top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. So let's play the whole top 10 list because you have to play the whole thing. And then you tell me what your favorites are.
Okay.
James, nice to see you. Thank you very much.
You're just standing there.
Who's in character?
Yeah, like that guy that was here earlier. Top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. Here we go, number 10.
I can't believe it's not butter.
No. Number 9.
Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear.
Number 8.
J-Lo in the house.
J-Lo in the house.
Yeah, that sounded cool.
Number 7.
Click here now for the hottest sex sites on the web.
Hoping everyone can hear this.
Number 6.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture goes to Dude, Where's My Car?
I like that. Number 5.
You're not fully clean until you're zestfully clean.
All right, fine. Number 4.
You mean I get all these great funk classics on just one CD or cassette?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Well, now, wait a minute. That makes no sense at all. The number 2 cool thing when spoken by James Earl Jones.
Meow, 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 meow.
And the number 1 thing that sounds cool when spoken by James Earl Jones.
What's up?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny, but he reads it so deadpan.
Yes. Okay, so what's your favorite?
One of my favorites is number 6, and the Academy Award goes to Dude, Where's My Car? That's the one he reads most like Darth Vader.
Okay.
In the Academy Award.
Oh,
He does say the R in car.
Okay.
All right, what's your favorite?
I liked You're Not Fully Clean Until You're Zestfully Clean. Because it's so different from the original, like little jingle.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was very cute.
All
but
right.
of course, well, I think we both liked this one. The
Yeah.
meow, meow,
Yeah,
meow.
meow, meow.
Yeah.
The Purina
Meow,
cat
meow, meow,
food
meow,
commercial.
meow, meow, meow.
The
Meow, 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 meow.
Wow.
just to hear Darth Vader go meow, 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 meow is hilarious. You know what I'm gonna have to do for the edit for the show? Combine the two, Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, and the cats all singing together.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
I never thought in my life I would ever hear James Earl Jones singing the Purina cat food commercial. But yet, there it was. He kind of spoke it, the spoken word.
Oh, yes. Very nice. So, Star Wars co-stars and friends paid tribute on social media to James Earl Jones. Mark Hamill wrote, #RIP Dad.
Because he would always refer to James Earl Jones as Dad.
Yeah.
And all the social media things that James Earl Jones would post, or when he would mention James Earl Jones, he would always mention that he's his dad.
That's awesome. All right, George Lucas wrote, James was an incredible actor, a most unique voice, both in art and spirit. For nearly half a century, he was Darth Vader, but the secret to it all is he was a beautiful human being. He gave depth, sincerity, and meaning to all his roles, amongst the most important being devoted husband to the late Cece and dad to Flynn. James will be missed by so many of us, friends and fans alike.
All right, there's one here by Kathleen Kennedy, and she writes, well, you read this in your best Kathleen Kennedy voice.
Okay. James Earl Jones is one of the most versatile and talented actors of our time, with an iconic body of work across film, stage, and television. The menacing baritone he brought to Darth Vader will forever be beloved by fans and regarded as one of the great villainous performances in cinema. His commanding presence on screen and warm personality off-screen will be greatly missed.
Oh, already is.
Yes.
All right, Anthony Daniels writes, James Earl Jones was the sweetest man who played the baddest villain. Now that's acting. His voice will be with us always.
Wow, what a great quote.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you know what? Thanks to Reese Beecher and James Earl Jones having the foresight to go, you know what? Use my voice in the future. You go right ahead.
Yeah. Now, strangely enough, just today I was listening to the D23 Inside Disney podcasts, and the hosts were interviewing the Lion King producer, Don Hahn. And of course, James Earl Jones voices Mufasa, who is the king. And Don Hahn spoke fondly about James Earl Jones. He said that he was the nicest man and he had the most amazing approach to acting. As a father figure, James Earl Jones was hard to suggest anybody else but him. And he also mentioned, Don Hahn also mentioned that James Earl Jones has said that acting for animation was like acting in Greek theater, where the actors wore masks. So you couldn't see their face, and he had to explain and express everything through that mask to the audience. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I never really thought about that until right now.
So he did that for Mufasa. He obviously did it for Darth Vader as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
He had to express everything. Now, he wasn't the actor behind the mask, but as the voiceover, you have to put so much more into your voice than you usually would just speaking in public.
You know, I've never seen, I don't think this exists, footage of James Earl Jones saying the Darth Vader lines for Star Wars. Because at that point, I'm sure the film wasn't locked, where when a film is locked, it's cut, it's edited, there's no room for movement, it's locked into place. So did James Earl Jones have to act according to David Prowse's movements, or was the film not locked yet? So if James read a line, they said, oh, that's good, let's extend this cut or shorten this cut, because I really like the way you said this as Darth Vader.
I would feel like Star Wars was probably locked when James Earl Jones
this was
did the
March.
voice. Okay.
And this is right when they were recording the soundtrack as well.
Right.
So I'm sure it was locked, because John Williams needs a locked picture to compose music to. So yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I'm sure it was locked. So he had to act around David Prowse's movements. All right, now, not only is James Earl Jones a great actor, but he's a great educator as well.
Oh.
Yes, he taught a generation the alphabet.
A, B, C, D.
All All right,
This is on Sesame Street, right?
Yes. This is from 1969 on Sesame Street.
Gosh.
Yes.
That's why he looks so different.
Yeah, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, James Earl Jones is completely bald.
Yes.
Completely bald. And the whole clip is very, very long because you can tell, well, you can hear the long pauses. So we'll leave it at that.
Oh my goodness,
But
that's
wait,
crazy.
wait a minute. There's more.
Oh.
He also teaches us to count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What? There's no music?
5.
Did you hear that little beep?
Yeah, I love all
Like a
because
Sesame
this
Street
is Sesame
sound
Street,
effect?
so there's
Yeah.
cars passing by and such.
Why was he
7.
going so slow? Just to teach kids?
I guess let kids
8.
really
Kids can
grasp
repeat.
onto. Okay, 4. Hold on, let me write this down.
9,
And when I first saw this, when I first saw this,
10.
I didn't know if that really was James Earl Jones, even though the YouTube tag said it was James Earl Jones. Like, no, it's not. But you can tell by his light brown eyes. You can get lost in those eyes.
Yes. Oh.
And these are clips I've never seen before.
No, thank you for putting this together.
And wow,
This is great.
This is classic.
Brogu says, "You tell him, James." A B C D E F 1 2 3 4. Nice. Aw.
As a kid, I don't recall ever seeing this.
All right, well, here's a big question.
Oh.
What James Earl Jones quotes do we use in everyday life? This is for you too,
All right.
Skywalkers.
Skywalkers in the
Yeah.
Sky Chat. You know, this is your time to throw some quotes out there.
Okay, I have one. Bring my shuttle.
Bring my shuttle.
Bring my shuttle. You got to do that, which was cut out of
The Empire Strikes
Empire
Back.
Strikes Back in favor of
Alert my Star Destroyer to prepare for my arrival.
come on, bring my shuttle.
Yeah, I don't know why that was cut.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, but whenever you want me to bring you something, you always say, "Bring my shuttle." It's like, okay,
Bring my tea.
Okay, here's your comb.
Bring my tea, Earl Grey hot.
Okay, here's your breakfast. There you go.
Eh.
I love the quote from another Empire Strikes Back quote.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
The way he enunciates that T.
Yes, goosebumps. Yeah, the way it's very taunting. Very taunting.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the Force is with you, but you're not a Jedi.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna lower their voice.
But now in everyday life, I think we use the quote, "I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further." Which I can't get that deep timbre, but
Yeah, so he can do no wrong in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
he really went to task with owning Darth Vader. And if you listen to the 1-800 numbers that our friend Craig Miller produced, and he's got some outtakes with James Earl Jones, you can really sense how James just wanted to get everything perfectly. He wanted to get every single enunciation, everything perfect as only Darth Vader would say it.
that's amazing. And Skywalker's Academy bringing up another good one. Impressive. Most impressive. Yes, that is a good quote for everyday life.
Yes, I know we use that quote so often.
Yes.
Now, we did put this question out on Facebook asking the Skywalkers to tell us your favorite James Earl Jones quote, which one you use the most in everyday life.
And it would not just Darth Vader, of
Yeah,
course.
oh, yes.
But like Mufasa.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
in fact...
Conan the Barbarian, Field of Dreams.
Yeah, so in fact, Elizabeth Tabor said, "Remember who you are." That's the big Mufasa quote that kind of turns Simba into running back to his kingdom and becoming king.
Yes.
Part of it.
Remember, you are a king.
Yes.
David Kreutz says, "Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come." And that is from Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Nice. Skywalker's Academy says, "We would be honored if you would join us."
Yes.
So many Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
It's great.
And once again, this is one of the times when he said, "You know what? It's David Prowse doing all the work, so I don't want any credit for this."
Wow.
He wasn't, and same with Star Wars, same with The Empire Strikes Back. He didn't want any credit. But by the time Return of the Jedi rolled around, everyone knew everyone knew that James Earl Jones was synonymous with Darth Vader and vice versa.
Right.
He's like, okay, just put me in there.
All right, Brian McDonald says this quote, "You do not yet realize your importance. You have only begun to discover your power."
Once again from The Empire Strikes Back. All right, Matt Clifton goes in a whole different direction with Darth Vader. The apprentice lives from Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, when he senses Ahsoka.
Of course.
All right, let's find another Mufasa quote.
Okay, Wynn Patterson says, "Being brave does not mean you go looking for a fight." As Mufasa teaching, as always.
You know what? Let's put this up on social media.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that speaks volumes. Thank you, Wynn, for posting that one. Thank you to Wynn Patterson.
Wow.
All right, now, Chad Pennycuff, he picks out a quote from The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
All right, this is the one that features James Earl Jones.
I have one thing to say to people like you. I like Star Wars too.
He loves Star Wars. I love that. I love that because you would think that with a show like Big Bang Theory, they would always go for the cheap joke.
Oh, yeah.
So you would think they would say, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But they totally flipped the script on me.
Yeah.
Now, let's play another clip. This is a follow-up clip with James Earl Jones talking about being on that episode with Carrie Fisher, who unfortunately they never appeared together in the same scene. You do hear his voice, but they're never together in the same scene, in the same shot.
Because doesn't he play Ding Dong Ditch?
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Okay.
And we had a very, little scene that was, we had to bounce off each other.
It's not funny anymore, James!
Then why am I laughing?
So they're in the same scene, but they just don't appear together.
No, his voice is off screen.
Oh,
yeah.
I would love to see him in a scene with her saying, I am your father.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, well, you know what? We're happy with what we got.
Absolutely.
All right, now Patrick Izzo, he says my favorite James Earl Jones line to use at work is, he's as clumsy as he is stupid.
That's a good work line. I love that. Ooh, Anthony Palmas, you are unwise to lower your defenses.
Now this one sticks out to me because before Return of the Jedi, right before I saw the film, I thought, okay, I want to think of a word, and I want to see if they say this word in the movie. And the word I picked was R, A-R-E, R.
Oh.
No rhyme or reason. No rhyme or reason. It was just one of those things. So when I heard Darth Vader say, you are unwise to lower your defenses, I was nudging my friend like, he said it, he said it, he said it.
Aww.
My friend's like, he said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, quiet down. I want to see how this turns out.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a pivotal scene. All
All right, now your mom. Hey there, Norma.
Yeah.
She picks out a quote from an interview.
Yeah, now I think she loves reading like autobiographies and books about people. So she's probably read his book, but this is the quote that really stuck out to her. If you expect someone else to guide you, you'll be lost.
Hear.
That is a very good line.
Yes, I love. It's a life
lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you know what that line is? Impressive. Most impressive.
Yeah. As says by Brogu here in the Sky Chat.
Yes. All right. Eric Unkenhout says, this line always gives me goosebumps. Perhaps you think you are being treated unfairly.
It's always those quiet, steady lines that are the most scary.
Yes.
Because, like, when someone just says something very quietly.
Yes.
Very slowly. That's when you should be afraid.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's far more intimidating and scary.
Now, Craig Hasis, he picks out a quote from Conan the Barbarian. Contemplate this. On the tree of woe, crucify him. That was the character Thulsa Doom.
Okay.
That when you see the film, it's like, hey, look, there's Darth Vader.
Well, also James Earl Jones was in The Hunt for Red October, and John Liang mentions the quote, and I was never here. Because he's like the CIA, like in charge of this mission that it's not supposed to be a mission. And so, yeah, he says that.
It's great that James Earl Jones is in this series, the Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. So you get to see Han Solo and Darth Vader. Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta figure someone in the crew said, just do a scene.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, James, say to Harrison.
Yeah, just say something.
Say,
Cool.
we would be honored if you would join us.
Oh.
Go ahead and say, he's gonna love it. I'm sure if I said it to Harrison, he'd be like, what are you talking about? What is this from? All right, now let's wrap this part up with Jeff Caffrey's quote.
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
That is Jeff Caffrey's favorite James Earl Jones quote. And once again, this is like the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear that, it's like, why is Darth Vader pitching CNN?
That's amazing.
Loved it. Loved it.
And Jeff Caffrey also says, one of my favorite action figures is the talking Darth Vader from Celebration 3. Whoa.
Your journey to the dark side is now complete. Prepare to experience the revenge of the Sith. It is your destiny. The dark side of the Force is strong with you.
How there's so many quotable lines, but Skywalker's Academy, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yes, another quote that you can use in everyday life, every single day.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, going back to Jeff's Darth Vader action figure, there's so many toys with Darth Vader's voice. Like the little chest box they had in 2005. They sold a set with the helmet and the little chest box that hangs down and it says Darth Vader quotes.
Oh, okay, so that figure says, never I have seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Really?
Welcome to Star Wars Celebration 3. Never will you find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Huh.
Wow. So, Skywalkers, did you learn anything new about James Earl Jones like I did?
I did too.
Yeah. If you haven't already, tell us in the comments for this episode post your favorite James Earl Jones quote, your favorite toy with James Earl Jones, his voice coming from Mufasa or Darth Vader.
Or a story. Have you met him?
Oh my goodness.
Have you seen him in a play?
Yeah.
Like, let us know. We'd love to hear any and all stories.
And what quote you use in your everyday life. As you can tell, there's so many James Earl Jones quotes that are applicable to your everyday life.
Bring my shuttle.
Well, that wraps up episode 483 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
We want to thank all of the Skywalkers for participating in this week's James Earl Jones tribute. And, of course, those of you who listen every week, please give this video a little like if you want. That would be lovely.
Or 10 likes or 11 likes.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, you can also find us on all the socials at Skywalking Pod.
Now, do you have something to share? We do every single week, so join us live at 6 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube.
On Mondays.
On Mondays, as we do our things we want to share. We share things we've done in the last week, things that we want to share about upcoming shows.
Are you interested in our books? Well, autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History, Parts 1 and 2, and also Skywalking Through My Fandom, which is an interactive notebook and makes a great gift. They are available now from skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book.
And what about our new book?
I don't know yet. We haven't discussed it yet.
Yes, we have.
So Skywalkers, would you like to support Skywalking Through Neverland?
And our new upcoming book.
You can consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our past Zoom discussions on Disney Plus shows, and you'll also get a coupon code to use for our books. And this bonus content begins at only $5 a month, so head to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at the options available. And we want to give a huge thank you and shout out to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force. You guys see your names every week in all of our YouTube videos, and we read them once a month on the podcast.
Now, we want to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park or a Disney cruise? We can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. So check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
All right, Skywalkers, it's your turn. It's your turn. We are part of the Skywalking Network. Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes.
Where the next month's episode is all about our 10th anniversary of Talking Apes.
Whoa. Also, the Max Effects podcast.
The Neverland Clubhouse.
Totally Tell Me Everything.
Star Warsologies.
And the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember...
Neverland on Alderaan. And the Force is with you, young Skywalker, but you are not a Jedi yet.
There you go. Okay, here we go.
Clappy claps. We did that backwards.
I know.
You were supposed to say clappy claps.
Clappy claps.
This whole show is just now backwards. I don't know what's going on now. Let's switch seats.
Is it upside down day? Yeah. Oh, that would really mess people up if we switch seats.
Yes. Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.